Alright, let's see if we can do this week with no problems, because wouldn't that be something? Hi everybody, it's Thursday, it's another day, I am here, and it looks like we are even good to go on the first link. Yay! Super excited. So, I am working on my Patreon map for this month on today's stream. As you can see, I've gotten a start already, and my goal is to detail as much of this landmass as possible. I have had a rough week, so trying to get this finished and up today is the goal. So yeah, I'm just gonna dig in, and as you're here, come say hi. Hopefully you brought something to work on, just something to hang out with, and we will carry on. Saxon is wandering around in the background, so you can probably see him, or hear him at least, doing that. Hopefully he's not too loud. Luckily we don't have any extreme construction sounds this week. They have been pretty quiet the last couple of days, which is super nice. I'm grateful for that. Hi, Doodle. You gonna sit on the couch? Okay then, go do your thing. The pens that I'm using today are new to me. They are Zebra brand brush pens, and I'm really enjoying how they look and how they feel. They've got a slightly wider body than the brush pens that I've used in the past, and I find that more comfortable, just to hold for longer periods of time. And having 3 different nib widths is really nice. I can kind of swap back and forth and vary my line weight with a lot more ease than what I was able to before. So I'm a big fan. Hey Gary, how are you? Your stuff. Well, I'm happy that your stuff as opposed to not being stuff. I'm having quite a bit of trouble with my hands today, and that is not an exciting proposition. Yeah, I think it is nicer to have this level of detail to work with. Um, it's been a while since I did something that was this close, and I kind of thought it would just be a nice change. So, yeah, it's okay. The hands are just sore because of the weather shift. It's always a little bit harder this time of year with the cold. I think the person I feel the worst with this whole hands business is Saxon, though, because I really am reluctant to go outside because I know it's just going to hurt. And he's all like, "But Mom, why do we not go?" So I gotta figure out better gloves or hand warmer situation or something. And then I'll be able to take him outside. We'll go for long runs and walks and stuff. Because he gets outside a lot during the summer. So. Oh, yeah? How was basketball? That's something you haven't done in a while. Yeah, poor Wolfer. He likes to go outside too. Nice. That's exciting. Where did you guys play? Hi, Nihilus. Time changes back on Sunday, so um, yeah, then we'll be back on the normal times, I think. So that's cool, Gary. Well, I mean, not cool that people didn't show up, but cool that you got the opportunity. Canada has time change this coming week, or at least some parts of it do. I'm in an area that does. Saskatchewan does not. I miss that about living in Saskatchewan. It was really nice to not have to fuss around with it. Yeah, you guys are done like a week before us, I think. Because Dave's in Latvia, so he was like, hey, wait. And I was like, yeah, no, the time has changed. Like, you are. Or he told me the time has changed. I was like, we're not changed yet. I think we change on the 3rd. I didn't know that Russia didn't. That's interesting. I am confused. Kaliningrad. Oh, okay. Missed that part. There we go. What is kvass? Sweet beer. Okay. Oh, okay. We have beers that are not quite that low. Well, I guess there are beers that are that low, but like Radlers, and we call them non-alcoholic beers just because the percentage is so small. Okay, cool. I think you can probably get it in probably smaller liquor stores or specialty liquor stores, but I don't think it's something that's common here, no. Maybe not even liquor stores, but just like specialty import shops is probably the words I want. I'm sorry. There's no cream in my house, therefore there's no coffee this morning, and I am not firing on all cylinders. It is very sad. Very, very sad. But I imagine like you can get it from places that import. I just don't know that I've ever seen it specifically. Yeah, probably. There's like the Russian delis and stuff. I know there was a Russian deli in Regina. Maybe somewhere there, or It's I'm sure there are more Eastern European shops in Edmonton that I could think of. I don't think the Italian Center shop would have it though, do you, Gary? I mean, they're the one I go to the most. They carry stuff from all over the place, but I don't know that I've ever specifically noticed kvass there. Yeah, that's what I figured. Hey, Patrick, how are you? Glad you could make it this morning. Are you ready for the time change this weekend? Does it time change where you are? It's on the 3rd, as far as I know. What are you working on now? You've had some really cool projects the last little while. It's been very exciting to watch them come up. Extra hour of sleep, right? I will take it. Although that said, I don't think Saxon will care, and he'll be like, hey, it's time to get up. And I'll be like, no. Yay! Gotta love it when that happens, right? That's a good feeling. Thank you. This is my Patreon map for this month. It's been a bit of a rough go over here, so unfortunately I've left it pretty late in the month. So today is going to be a marathon, which is alright. They happen. Oh yeah, coffee. I wish you could send some here. There's no coffee in my world today. It is sad. I will be going out to get cream pretty much as soon as I'm done streaming so that I can get that going. Hello. How do you take your coffee, Patrick? Two scoops of sugar and cream. That sounds pretty wonderful. I've never tried a panoramic view map. And after seeing yours, I actually am very excited to give one a shot because it was something that, like, this is going to sound silly, but it never really registered in my brain as something that I could have tried. Um, and so now I'm all like, I'm super curious about this. Was there like a tutorial that you followed, or did you just kind of wing it and come up with your own process? Like, how did that come about? Yeah, it seems like it would be a fun challenge. Yeah, that sounds about right. Isn't that just the way of it, though? Yeah, I think that'll be fun to play with, for sure. You do some pretty epic cities, though, Naglis. I have no patience for cities. Oh, I'm terrible at them. They are not my jam. I do not enjoy the process whatsoever. I feel that way about almost every map I get involved with, to be perfectly honest. It's like, oh yeah, I thought I'd be farther along than this by now. It's worth it, though, this patience of just like having to sit with something and do the tiny little details until you're satisfied with it. It's like a weird combination of meditation and torture. I remember Joseph. It's good to see him out and about now. It's very positive to see him back. As far as I know, yeah, I think that that's why he's kind of surfaced again. I think my favorite isometric cities, Patrick, are the ones by Misty B. Are you familiar with her work? Misty B, Misty, last name Beee on Instagram. Absolutely marvelous. Just so gorgeous. She's also very, very active on the Cartographers Guild. I don't know if it's the same handle there or not. Um, I'm not active on the Cartographers Guild, although I feel like I should be. So her work is just so lovely. I enjoy it a lot. Yeah, her stuff is just like, oh man. I think she, more than anyone else, makes me want to get into digital because just the stuff that she's capable of doing with the Zoom properties on her digital platform is like, yes. Although I feel like I run the risk of getting incredibly noodly if I have the ability to like zoom in that far. It's like, here's the plants on the front step of this tiny little house that will be like less than a centimeter large in the final map. There's definitely limitations to size and scale when you're working in pen and ink. You're limited by how fine your dexterous control is and how small that pen nib can be. Yeah, her maps are digital. I think she's working on a Cintiq. That's the platform I would want to go to. It just seems to be a very, very excellent system, all told. It's going to take some saving, though. They are not cheap. I tell you guys that I got my plane tickets booked for going to see Dave this Christmas. I'm super excited. 11 by 17. Home scannable. Yeah, that's a challenge, hey. This is 11 by 17 too. Naglis, it's not a direct translation to A4, A5. It's just slightly off of those measurements. Tabloid might be right. I've just never heard that before. That's really cool. My scanner at home can do 11 by 17, which I'm excited about. It can actually do up to, I think, an A5, but we don't normally have that paper here. I'd like to have some, though. I think I might try to pick some up while I'm in Europe, just to work on it and see what the dimensions are like. It seems like it might be a slightly better ratio for map making. Hi, Saxon. What you doing, Goomba? Hey, Laura. Happy Thursday, babe. I'm not going to Latvia this trip. We are going to London first for a few days, and then we are going to Scotland. And then we're still trying to figure out if we're going to see a friend of mine in France. And if not, we're probably going to Amsterdam. Hopefully going to see Brian, who goes by Spudgun on the chat, and Dexter, who's another friend of mine over there. I'd have to move my camera in order for you guys to see Saxon. And that gets awkward with the way that this camera is set up. But I do post pictures of him on my personal Instagram. So if you ever are desperate to see the dog, he is there. Hey, baby. What you doing? Yes, head rubs. I got you. I got you. What are you gonna do? You hanging out? You hanging out? Hi, Pepper. This is going to be weird for you with all of the kids going around tonight in their costumes. I don't remember how you handled that last year. Yes, hello, hello. I understand you want my attention, but it's Thursday. You will have to wait. Saxon is a big dog, yes. He's about 100 pounds. No, I don't want your stick, buddy. I can't have this right now. This is not working time. Or not playtime, this is working time. No, thank you. No, thank you. Maybe we'll go to the park after the stream, okay? But not right now. Yes, this is the stick. It is giant and gross. It goes outside frequently. There you go. Yep, Halloween is today. Yeah, it's probably a good thing, Gary. That way Wolf's not bolting for the door constantly. I love Instagram as a platform. I'm on it a lot. I think it's my favorite platform. I just like that it's so intensely visual. And I don't know if it's just the stuff that I pay attention to or not, but like it seems like it's a really positive place. I've heard that it's not for other things, but I find generally the other cartographers are super chill and very lovely to be around, and I've very much curated my work Instagram to reflect that, so that's really cool for me. Yeah, my friend from France, when he was here, had never heard of Halloween before, and so it was our grade 12 year in high school, which meant he was technically a little bit old to go out trick-or-treating by most standards, but because he'd never done it before, he decided he was going to do it. And his host mother had procured for him a cow costume that she thought that he should wear. He really did not want to go as a cow. He wanted to go as like a psycho killer. And so they compromised, and he put on this cow costume and over it put on dark slacks and a dark jacket and was running up to all of the doors and just yelling moo. But the problem was this costume had an udder that hung over the pants, and we didn't really realize it was a problem at the time. He has a super good time on Halloween, and then on New Year's the local paper comes to the school and starts asking people like, what are your New Year's resolutions, because they didn't have anything else to write about apparently. And he was interviewed, and his picture went into the paper, and somebody called the police and accused him of flashing them on Halloween, like running around and just flashing people because of this udder that had been hanging over the pants. And so they had to like produce the costume and do the whole thing, and it was quite a rigmarole. And he was like, I don't know if Halloween is worth all this hassle. I was like, well, not everybody gets like called into the police for a costume, I'm sorry. But it was a pretty funny story. Yeah, but then you have candy, and that can be okay. I'm currently trying to not eat any of that, so it's just like, oh boy, I'm not buying any candy right now. I will be the Grinch who does not Halloween tonight because I'm really afraid I'm just going to eat everything. I haven't had candy in months. I do not want to break my streak. I mean, my self-control is good, but it might not be that good. It's really only good when I'm not tempted. Let's be real. It really was an utterly impossible situation. Patrick, you're hilarious. I approve. I love puns. I think they're wonderful. I think they show a level of cleverness and engagement with language that is just often unappreciated. That said, Dave doesn't care for them, so I constantly troll him with puns. The first year that we lived in Wainwright, I made him and our girlfriend at the time an advent calendar each. And hers was full of compliments and things that I loved about her, and his was full of the worst puns I could possibly come up with. And I made him read his aloud every evening after supper. He was not impressed with me, but he played along because he's a very good sport. So that was funny. Yes, I am using a brush pen, Patrick. These are new ones that I got. They are Zebra brand, and there's 3 sizes. This is the thickest one. Um, and then there's the gray one, which is kind of in the middle, and the blue one, which is the finest. And they have slightly different nib flexes, and I just really like how they kind of vary the line width. They're a lot of fun to use. Plus the pen body is thicker than a lot of the other pens that I've been having. It's about maybe 25% larger than a Micron. And given how much my hands are hurting today, I think having something larger to hold on to is a benefit for me right now. Try to keep things from cramping up so much. You had tried some brush pens recently, didn't you? The Microns? Oh, that doesn't sound pleasant, Niglas. With mixed success. I find the Micron brush pen is not my favorite. It's got a super flexible tip, and it makes my hands cramp trying to get the kind of fine lines that I want with it. And these ones, especially the smaller ones, I love a lot more. Like this is the smallest one, these fine gray lines up here. And I just love the variability for that specific reason. It's pretty fantastic. No thank you, Saxon. I don't want it right now. Good boy. Are you planning on becoming President, Neglis? Hi, Saxon. Hi, baby boy. Hello. Yes, I see you. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, Patrick, you should try these ones. I think you'd like them more. I'll see if I can find the links for you. I don't know how, like, I know you can order them from my shop, but you might be able to order them from Amazon, but possibly also JetPens. If you've never been on the JetPens website, oh my goodness, that is like crack for me. I love just about everything there. Hi, Doodle. This brand is Zebra. However, almost all of the writing on it is in Japanese, so I can't tell you much more than that. It just says Zebra brush pen. I don't know if the UPC codes that I have would be useful for you. Hi, doggo. Why 23 years, Neglis? What's significant about that period of time? Good boy, Doodle. Oh, neat. I did not know there was a legal age where you are. Yeah, if you check them out, Patrick, I'd be curious to know what your review is. I find the blue and the silver are probably my two favorites. The black is just nice for being able to cover large areas pretty quickly, though. It's definitely got its own benefits. Thanks, Patrick. Yeah, Naglis, October is always special because I try to do Inktober, but oh my goodness, that is a grind at times. I'm still planning on finishing, but I think it's going to be scattered through however long it takes to get it done. Inktober is nice because I don't spend a lot of time doing just illustration for myself. Generally, map making tends to be mostly commissions, honestly. So while that's still fun, it's not the same as creating the art that you just feel inspired to make in that moment. So Inktober is a good excuse to kind of just do what I want to do for a while. Sax, why are you licking the couch? Goofy. What did you get excited about yesterday, Patrick? Nice! That is always super exciting. I hope they follow through and offer you all the money. Oh, I'm sorry. I was hoping that they were going to be excited about your stuff. Also, I don't think I saw that comment, so I guess I'm going to have to go look. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Well, I'm happy that I could sort of contribute to that in a weird way. Okay, thank you. I'll check that out, Patrick. Yeah, Nagos, I've definitely had that happen a few times too, where people are like, "Oh, I really love your stuff," and I'm like, "Yep, this is the cost," and they're like, "Oh, never mind." Or not even not an "oh, never mind." Like most of them just don't even reply, and I think that that's really rude. Just say flat out, like, "I'm sorry, that's too much," or "I can't afford that right now," or whatever. But like, don't just ghost on somebody. I think that's really rude. I don't haggle. My prices are my prices. And if people are not cool with that, then that's totally fine. I get that I am not cheap, but I value my time and I value my materials, and that's just how it's got to be for me right now. I've taken on projects that I did pro bono and stuff because I really believed in them, but I want to be free to do that because I'm well taken care of otherwise, not because I have to do it for exposure or whatever. Suddenly I sound like I have a frog in my throat. Sorry, people. My work is time consuming. Um, I've had to start charging on like a per square inch basis as opposed to an hours in basis because if I'm charging per hour, then I price myself out pretty much instantly. So at least per square inch is a little bit cheaper generally. But I definitely do feel like you get what you pay for with my work in terms of, especially because when I'm working on a commission, frequently I will do a lot of the work on a live stream or like at least a chunk of the work. So the commissioner can see like the pace of how it goes and like the amount of effort that goes into it. And I found that to be actually like a surprisingly wonderful thing. That they just seem to appreciate more the process that goes into what I'm creating for them. I also feel like they get to be more included in that process because they can watch it happen. Um, Whereas otherwise, it's just kind of like, here's this deliverable in a mailing tube that arrives to you. So, yeah, I have a hard time with emotionality and money as well, which is part of why the cost per square inch thing worked out really well for me. It's a pretty standard way of calculating fees in certain illustration disciplines. And what I like about it is it's very scalable, right? Like I can tell you what my base cost is per square inch, and it's the same if I'm working on a 11 by 17 or a 25 by 20. There's a map that in theory I'm doing in February, as long as this guy follows through, that he wanted 20 inches by 25 inches. And I said to him, like, I respect that that's the size you're after. I need you to understand this is going to be very expensive. And he was like, well, how expensive is expensive? And I quoted him out, and it's like $800 American. And he said that he's interested, so we'll see if he's still around come February. But it was not a difficult calculation to make because I knew my price per square inch is $1.60. Like, that's for my time, that's for my materials, it's for my overhead, and I've already worked that out, so it's not like it took me agonizing over, oh, should I charge you this, should I charge you that? No, this is the rate, and if I do a smaller piece, it's cheaper. If I do a larger piece, it's more expensive. Like, that's just how it has to be. And then it's consistent, which I really appreciate. I think, like, it's so complicated to be an artist in a society that values art in terms of a consumable good, but is used to getting it all for free. I think, like, just the nature of the internet has made people think that free content is where it's at, and then therefore anybody trying to make a living wage doing what they do is gonna see pushback on that. And I think that's unfortunate. Like, we listen to music, we go to beautiful interior spaces, we watch movies, we consume art in so many ways, and yet we seem to begrudge, oh, we need to go pay for this movie ticket or this theater ticket or whatever. Why can't I just watch it for free online? And that frustrates me a little bit. Like, people who do this stuff need to make livings too. And I mean, I'm 2 steps away from getting on my capitalism soapbox, but I will avoid that today. I don't need to be angry before coffee. But everybody deserves to make a living. And I think there's that tension between, like, oh, you're an artist, you must do what you love, that's got to be so rewarding. Well, yeah, it is, but I also require that my husband have a well-paying job because I'm not viable doing this alone. Right? Like, not yet anyway. Maybe I will be, maybe I won't be. But I need more time to find out. I'm very grateful that Dave is so incredibly supportive of all of this. It's pretty wonderful. I signed some of my stuff. I signed the commissions that go out. I don't tend to sign my stuff that goes up on Patreon just because I figure people are going to be using them as like maps for their game and stuff like that. I probably should start signing them because it's an issue in terms of if my stuff starts floating around the internet. The good news is I haven't really seen that happen yet. The bad news is nobody's going to find me if it's not signed. So I think I want some kind of watermark that I can put on it. Dyson's got one that I really like the look of, and so does Loish, who's an illustrator. I think she's from the Netherlands, that I follow on Instagram as well. So I think I want something like that. I just have not invested the time in making it happen at this point. It requires research in Photoshop, and those are things that I always seem to defer and put off. Well, the Photoshop in particular. Hi, Doodle. What you doing? What you doing? Yes, I know, it's been over an hour. Yes, well, Uncle Sam owes you, and I would not feel bad about that at all. I have a lot of sympathy with communism, trust me, Neglis. I think especially as a visual artist, you are reliant on some form of the social contract. So having faith in other people to be taking care of each other is important in my world. $300 toilet seats? Patrick, what are you talking about? And Laura, that is a good idea. I just need someone to help me sort it out. I haven't really invested the time or energy in that yet. Wow, that seems absurd to me, Patrick. Yeah, no kidding. For sure. I would venture to say I don't think the Canadian Army has ever had that kind of money to spend on themselves. Plush toilet seats, hey? I mean, I guess if that's the thing, that's the thing. Enjoy it if you got it. Yeah, it's all good, Gary. You can do what you need to do, my dear. I realize it's kind of just a chill, quiet stream today, so hopefully that's not too boring for people. I'm glad. I like it when you come hang out, Patrick. I do, I do. Oh boy. You got this, Laura. Hang in there. You're not the only one marathoning today, though. This map has got to be finished and uploaded before midnight tonight. So, it's not vehicles, but it's definitely still pressure. There is a hair on my pen nib. There we go. Have I ever used whiteout? Not often on a map like this. I have used white gouache um, when there's been a huge problem with color balancing or something like that. I've recently picked up a pot of this, which is by Copic, and it's their opaque white, and it is really thick. Like, it is definitely opaque. I tend to use a little bit of water with it, but it gives you nice, clean whites. The issue for me is typically as soon as I start adding anything on top of an ink drawing, it creates just enough texture that my scanner then doesn't like what's going on. And then I have to spend more time kind of correcting it in Photoshop, which is not something I love to do. Um, and also going over it with any kind of pen after you've put it on, the texture is not going to be the same as your paper, right? So the color of your pen might show up differently, or the texture that you're trying to make might show up differently. And I just find that irritating. So honestly, what I end up doing is I try to make any mistakes that I make into an asset rather than a flaw. Um, I strongly prefer not working with dip quill and ink when Saxon is active, because if he comes and puts something on my desk, that can disturb the whole process. But working with just general pen is fine. And just kind of go slow, think about what I want to do. And then if it doesn't work, see if there's a way that I can adapt it instead of wanting to cover over it. I think it really depends on the aesthetic that you're going for, Naglis. Um, I've seen maps that have the coat of arms on them, but I do find I agree with Laura's sentiment where it needs to be carefully managed so that you're not crowding things. Or doing it on the side as a cartouche or a compass rose even can be really fun. It just depends on how it gets implemented. Oh, that sounds cool. I mean, I guess my best piece of advice is just sketch it out in pencil and see if you like it well enough to ink it. Cool. That sounds like fun. Alright, my darlings, it's been an hour and a half, and I think I'm finally desperate enough that the want of coffee is overrunning my desire to make tiny little trees for the next little while. Um, Depending on how this goes, I may or may not stream again at some point today, just to keep myself accountable to getting it finished. But first coffee, and then paying attention to some dog, because he's been very patient. But if I post again, I'll post it on my Facebook page. I won't spam it into the group, just because I feel like I should make sure I'm not taking advantage of that situation. And then, yeah, I may or may not stream some more this weekend, just to kind of keep things at. No, I'm not going to burn myself out, Patrick, I promise. I just definitely need some coffee and some Advil, and then I can keep going. This is the first time that I've sat down to do like any kind of map in quite a while, because it's been Inktober for so long. So I'm actually really enjoying the process. I just need to be in a little bit better shape to do it, that's all. Saxon, why do you have eye boogers? Those are gross. Gross, I say. Alright, my darlings, I'm gonna go. Gary, I hope that you feel better. Laura, I hope that it goes smoothly today and that it's not nearly as bad as it sounds like it's currently being. And Patrick, I hope you have fun with seeing trick-or-treaters if they do come or don't come, and otherwise enjoy your candy. And Naglis, enjoy working on your map. And I think there are maybe one or two other people who are lurking. Hi, lurking people. I'm glad that you came. And I do this every week, so if you want to show up again next Thursday, you are more than welcome. Have a good one, guys. Bye.